Imagine having an AI assistant that works for you 24 hours a day, responds to clients, organizes information, and still delivers everything ready for you while you're doing something else. And the most interesting part, you don't need to program anything. No server, no complicated setup. Today, I'm going to show you a tool that's taking this concept of AI automation to another level. Alright, so let's get into the video. The name of this tool is Abacus Cloud. Basically, it takes all the power of an advanced AI agent framework, Open Cloud, and turns it into something simple to use directly in the cloud. In practice, you don't need to install anything, you don't need to set up a server or mess with code. You just describe what you want in natural language, and the agent makes the difference. Here, it's not just about answering questions, it actually performs real tasks. It connects with WhatsApp, Gmail, Slack, Notion, Google Sheets, and much more, all at the same time, working 24 hours a day. Well, so let's get started. The first thing you need to do is click on the link that will be down here in the description of this video. Then, just click this button here to deploy, and in a few seconds, everything will be ready for you to start using. Notice that it's possible to connect with several tools, including WhatsApp and Telegram. In today's video, I'll be using WhatsApp, and the integration process here is very simple. You just need to click this button, and it will give you all the instructions. Then, it will ask you to scan the QR code, and it will make the connection. The system and your phone in a completely automatic way without you having to do absolutely anything. When it finishes the setup, it will run some tests just to see if everything is working perfectly. Well, everything is working. Let's start with a very practical scenario. Imagine that you have a short-term rental business like Airbnb and you need to respond to clients all the time. With Abacus Cloud, you can create a customer service bot on WhatsApp in seconds, and here's the most interesting part. You don't need to do any programming. You simply describe something like, create a customer service bot on WhatsApp. For a short-term rental business, connect it with a provided Google Sheets spreadsheet. The agent should automatically identify active bookings and respond in a personalized way, using the guest's name. Answer common questions such as pet policies, property information, hours, and so on. Now, if the request requires a human decision, such as early check-in or unforeseen cases, forward it to the attendant with the complete summary of the guest and the booking. Keep your answers clear, quick, and professional in tone. What will happen? The agent will access the spreadsheet you provide with all the guest data, will identify who has an active reservation, cross-check with the knowledge base, and start responding automatically. If a guest asks, for example, if they can bring pets, the bot will respond based on the property's rules. If they ask for the location, it will send the correct link. Now, if something more complex comes up, like a request for early check-in, the system recognizes that it needs a human and forwards the message with all the context. Client name, reservation, request, everything organized without you having to do absolutely anything. So this ends up saving a lot of time. Just imagine if you had to answer question by question, guest by guest, all of that on the same day. So, when you have artificial intelligence automating all this work, everything becomes much simpler because you don't have to keep doing this basic interaction. The bot itself can do this for you. And then, obviously, you can focus on other things in your daily routine. See, it ran a simulation here on my phone. So, whenever a guest asks something, it will send a response just like it's showing here. And if human interaction is needed, then it sends a message to my WhatsApp, and I can assist the customer without relying on the bot. So, it's really cool because artificial intelligence recognizes the use cases and knows how it should act in each situation. Now let's think about this other problem. Too much information, Slack, email, news, notifications. It's impossible to keep up with everything. With Abacus Cloud, you can create an agent that works as an intelligent filter for your own ecosystem. You set something like this. Every day, every 10 minutes, send me on WhatsApp a summary of the most relevant news about AI from Brazilian sources. Provide a table with the name of the outlet, the website, a brief summary, and a suggested post. On X, the agent will connect to the platform, analyze what really matters, create a personalized brief, and then send it to you. In other words, it's not generic news. It's information based on your work context, your conversations, and your projects. Notice that I put my prompt here, and it identified that if it follows this, the messages will end up looking like spam. Why? Am I going to have too much content in a short time? So, it's suggesting here that I increase the interval between actions. I'll agree and ask it to execute. Notice that the agent does everything by itself. It sets up the scenario, searches the internet, checks how everything works within my workflow, and then delivers the bot all ready for me. I asked it to run a test just to see if everything was working. And look, it sent the message to me exactly the way I asked. And here I have everything organized. Look, AI summary for the night period, March 18th, 2026. Good evening, Gustavo. Here are the main AI updates of the day. Companies are monitoring employees' AI token usage. Then it gives a brief summary here, and after that, a suggested post for X, and, as I asked, the link to the article. And then, it follows the same process throughout the whole message. So, you see how interesting this is. I don't need to log into my profile, use the search, look for this kind of information, none of that. Everything is automated using Abacus Cloud. He goes to X, looks for the information I asked for, creates a report, makes a summary so I can post it on X, and he even gives me the link. If I want to go deeper into the subject, so for those who create content, this is very important. I already use this bot in my routine because I constantly need this kind of information. So, just imagine how much time I would waste if I had to go on X or any other platform to find this kind of information. So, I let the bot do the work for me. And then, in the end, I do that filtering to see what's worth it and what's not. And for sure, in the future, this could become a video here on the channel. So, for those who create content, this kind of automation is essential. Pretty cool, right? So, as we saw, there are a few points that make this tool stand out. First, instant deployment. In less than a minute, you already have an agent up and running. Second, integration with multiple platforms at the same time. You don't need to keep switching between apps. Everything happens within a single workflow. Another point is persistent memory. The agent remembers what you've already done, learns over time, and improves its responses. And perhaps most importantly, it's not just a chatbot. It performs real tasks, sends messages, organizes data, solves problems, and automates processes. Well, now the most important part, the price. The pricing model is also quite interesting. You pay a basic monthly subscription, and the agent usage works with credits. The logic is very simple. You only pay for the time the agent is running. Turn it on to use it. Turn it off to stop spending. And this makes the tool much more accessible because you don't need to invest in infrastructure or get stuck in long-term contracts. It costs $7 for the first month and $10 after that, and if you pay for the 25,000 credits, you already get 25,000 credits every month. Oh, and of course, when we talk about automation and data integration, security is fundamental. All information is encrypted, the infrastructure is managed, created, and updated automatically, and you maintain full control over your data. In other words, you have a professional level of security without having to deal with the technical complexity behind it. Pretty cool, right? So, if you want to stop wasting time on repetitive tasks and start really using AI in your daily life, automating customer service, organizing information, and performing tasks, it's really worth trying out Abacus Cloud. The link to access the platform is here in the description. So, go there, create your first agent, and try out these examples I showed you here. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.